All right. Hello, everybody. Feel free to go on the chat to just tell us updates if the sound is crazy or different or if something needs to be tweaked a little bit. So I didn't have an agenda tonight because incredible things have happened since we were last doing this. And you may have heard already, but maybe not. At 3 o'clock today, the City Council voted to defund the Minneapolis Police Department, or they vowed to vote. So I think they're doing a formal vote later, but it's enough so that there's no veto. So Minnesota is going to be Minneapolis is going to be on the cutting edge. Who'd have thought? If we tether with the phone, if the sound is good and you can put up with it, how bad is it? Does it look? Is it in and out? It would. Yeah, it's going to be. There's nothing you can do there. It's all the internet connection. I do have it on a hotspot. Yeah, so I think we're going to have to put up with it because if we stop, it's going to take like 5 or 8 minutes to reboot everything up, and I don't know if we've got that time. So side camera's better than the front. Okay, when I get back there, I'll tweak those things. All right, here we go. Heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. You really didn't care for music, did you? It was like this, the fourth or fifth, final term and the major lift and the baffled king composing hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof, and her beauty overthrew you. She tied you to a kitchen chair, she broke your throne, cut your hair, and from your lips you drew hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. I've been here before, know this room, I've walked this floor. I used to live here before I knew you. I saw your flag on the marble arch. Love is not a victory march. It's a cold, it's a broken hallelujah. 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 There was a time when you'd let me know what's really going on below. Now you never show it, do ya? Remember when I moved with you? The holy dove was moving too. Every breath we drew was hallelujah. 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 Maybe there's a God above. All I ever learned from love was how to shoot at someone who outdrew you. It's not a cry you hear at night. It's not someone who's found a light. It's a cold, it's a broken hallelujah. 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 Say I took the name in vain. I don't even know the name. If I did, well, really, what's it to you? There's a blaze of light in every word. Doesn't matter what you heard, the broken or the holy. Hallelujah. 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 I did my best, wasn't much. Couldn't feel, so I tried to touch. I told the truth, I didn't come to fool ya. Even though it all went wrong, I stand here before the Lord a song with nothing on my tongue but hallelujah. 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 You know, I don't know. Sad songs seem to make me feel better. I don't know if that works for other people, but. Love is a screaming train. Can't you see? Hearts in the crashing rain. Can't believe I am a hurricane, crushing you. I am a burning plane. Aren't we two? And I knew that it's true when you screamed, I hate you. And I knew that I'm without you. I can't love, my love is cruel. And I knew that it's true when you screamed, I hate you. And I knew without you, I can't love, my love is cruel. For the life of me, don't know how I know what life will be. It tears me down. I am a hurricane, crushing through. I am a burning plane. Aren't we two? And I knew that it's true when you scream, I hate you. And I knew without you, I can't love, my love is cruel. And I knew that it's true when you scream, I hate you. And I knew without you, I can't love, my love is cruel. I'm gonna just quickly tune my guitar. Anthony is decided not to do tonight. He's taking a break. But he wanted to send well wishes and love to everybody. Hoping everybody is doing well. Perhaps he's listening. I hope I said that message right, Anthony. It's humid. If you're looking at some of the cameras, you'll see I have like lyrics everywhere. I'm picking them up and doing them. Broken down, broken fine. All the things that worked, never mind. Taken down, taking time, taking damaged peace of mind. What's your name? You told her twice. You told you followed Jesus Christ. And is it cruel to be this nice? Jagged wisdom, jagged eyes. Twice. All of this sadness won't suffice. Taken down, take the prize. All of these choices lead to vice. What's your name? I can't recall. I can't remember, not at all. And take your life and take your fall. They took your death, they took it all. Broken down. Okay, I'm gonna introduce Lynette, my wonderful, beautiful spouse. And she's going to read a little bit, and I think you're going to be reading from your journal over the. Yeah. Okay, she's coming. It is definitely summer. Oh, and it's Pride Month, so happy Pride, everybody.
Is this one for me? Is it? Happy bittersweet Pride. May we all eventually be really confident in the joy. By the way, you're going to notice I think the front camera is frozen. I think that's why it was stopping. I'm not sure if there's any fixing of that in this stream, but it's frozen right now. So as Vina said, I'm going to be reading from journaling, not because it's particularly good. Sorry. Got to check the time here so I don't overstay my welcome. But just because it's the only newish thing I've got that speaks to the time that we're in. So I'm going to read some things and skip and explain, and let's see what happens. My journal entry for June 2nd, 2020. A lot has happened since I last wrote, and I want to be quick because I'm going to have to rally Venus and Anthony for another few hours doing neighborhood watch in the alley soon. Let's see if I can do the chronology correctly. I'm not sure when I last wrote, but I know I did a revision of a poem based on feedback from the poetry group that I read the last time we did this 2 weeks ago. I did a Zoom meeting with my Rotary group on the morning of May 26th, a Tuesday. I don't remember what we talked about. Probably it was a club action meeting. I think I said something about wanting to start a scholarship program. We didn't know a man named George Floyd had been murdered by the Minneapolis Police Department around 8 o'clock the evening before. I would discover that, an event that happened 8 blocks from my house, a little after 12 noon when I was scrolling through Facebook and found the appalling video. I had to watch it to fully take in the obscenity of it all. Here was a man who was slowly being asphyxiated by a Minneapolis police officer with a determined look on his face, surrounded by a crowd of how many onlookers? At least 6, possibly 15. I couldn't tell. People were screaming for the officer to stop. Another officer stood between the perpetrating officer and the screaming crowd with an impassive, dull look on his face. He was pretending to be somewhere else. He could have intervened, but he didn't. There were apparently 2 other officers on the other side of the cop that I didn't see in this particular video. I watched, and they were doing something similar. The whole thing lasted an excruciating 8.5 minutes. By the way, since I wrote this, I think it's more like 8:46. You can hear him saying, "I can't breathe." And then he's asking for his mother. A little while after that, he stops. He's probably dead. The crowd is still screaming at the officers, and the officers just keep doing what they have been doing. At the end of the video, an ambulance arrives, and a very flaccid, already dead George Floyd is pulled onto a stretcher. Initially, the police said he died of pre-existing conditions. No one bought that. When did the riots begin? In my calendar, I've written vigil for George Floyd at Cup Foods for 5 to 7 p.m. that day, Tuesday, May 26th. We didn't go. Why? Was it nice weather and we decided to sit in the back and grill? Were communications between me and Venus difficult and I decided to focus on that instead? Or was I too wrapped up in trying to convert my online freshman comp class into a new format? Ah, now I realize that was it. I just looked at my mile IQ log, and that was the day I drove from the barn straight to Normandale, hoping to quickly download the D2L course configuration that hadn't worked when I'd tried it from home earlier in the day. We have screwy Wi-Fi at this house, as you probably already noticed if you're following this broadcast and seeing things a little choppy sometimes. It hadn't worked when I tried it from home earlier that day. I remember being on the phone to Venus weeping. It took about 45 minutes for one class, and after about 35 minutes of trying to download it for the second class, the warning alarm at school sounded for the campus to close. It was just about 7 p.m. I had hoped to stop on campus for 10 minutes, 20 at the most, to do a quick download of software files that didn't seem to work on my Mac at home, hoping I could catch the second hour of the memorial at least, and I had failed. Would my life have been different if I'd made it to the first memorial? People marched from the memorial to the 3rd precinct on Lake in Minnehaha, and altercations ensued. I might have. It's probably only a 2-mile walk, and my boots are okay for walking in. I would have looked a little weird, talking about my tall riding boots. But jeans, not breeches. But that usually isn't a problem for these situations. Or maybe I would have texted Venus that I was coming home for dinner soon. I know we were trying to work that out and that I was apologizing for being late. The next night, the 27th, there were protests at the 3rd precinct. That's when the glass started breaking, when things started burning. I think we were aware there were protests. Were Kat and Mercy there? Kat dances with the band a lot. Mercy often plays bass with Venus. They have their own band called Apocalypse Theater, and they're good friends. It was looking ugly, not like anything I would have willingly joined. The looting began. A pawn shop owner reportedly shot and killed a man breaking into the store. I've heard almost nothing about that, except at that time, one of my former students, Noah Savoy, posted that he saw a man shot and killed in front of him. I know that Noah was part of that scene, and I'm sure that is the incident he saw. The next day, I watched the video of the umbrella man breaking the windows of AutoZone methodically, almost in a rhythm. One of my colleagues posted a link about the Boogaloo Boys. I think that's when I began to get worried. Thursday, May 28th. They toppled the chain link fences and burned down the 3rd precinct station. I wasn't emotionally attached to that station. It was our station, but my dealings with it were at best mixed. I was glad they didn't shoot my friend Johnny to death in the living room when he used a key to get into our house to do a surprise congratulatory party for us after an All the Pretty Horses gig. I should mention that the reason I was worried that I called the police was that I had been mugged 2 weeks earlier in the neighborhood in broad daylight, and they hadn't taken my purse, but I was really on edge, and I was coming home alone after a gig, and the rest of Venus wouldn't arrive home for another hour or two, and I heard voices inside the house laughing, and I saw a shadow go across the Venetian blinds, and I freaked, and I huddled in the backyard, and I actually in the alley, and called the police. And I unlocked the door for them so they wouldn't have to break it. And 2 officers walked in with their guns drawn right over there where I've been sitting doing the board, and now Venus is sitting doing the board. And Johnny and a friend of his were sitting over here on the couch, kind of giggling. They were probably stoned or something, I don't know. And the police officers had their guns drawn, and I think the only reason they didn't shoot is that, number one, they perceived that Johnny and his friend were white. And then, of course, I was able to quickly say, I know these guys, it's okay, et cetera, et cetera. I still think about that. Every day I hear about something with the police, I think about that. So, other things about the 3rd Precinct. I wasn't happy with them when they treated me like a criminal for being mugged 4 blocks from the house 2 weeks earlier. This was 5 o'clock in the afternoon on a beautiful spring day in early May. I was walking home from a friend's house on Potterhorn Park. It's probably a gang girl initiation. They knocked me over on my back. I'd been wearing my purse on my back, so they didn't get anything. They hit me in the face. They gave me a bloody nose. Nothing, was terribly injured. I waited 45 minutes for the police to show up. There was a white guy gardening in the yard next to where this happened, because it happened on the public sidewalk. He walked into the house quickly. The only reason they stopped and ran away was that a school bus driver pulled over the school bus and then got out of the school bus. He was African American. All of the other neighbors who came up to help me were African American. They told me not to clean up because the police needed to see the blood running down my face and onto my shirt. When the police finally arrived, and I have to say, one of them could have been, given the year and everything, could have been a much younger Derek Chauvin, who is the perpetrator, who is the murderer of George Floyd. Could have been him. It definitely had that facial look and that face shape and hair. And he said, "What are you doing in this neighborhood?" Accusing me, like I shouldn't be walking in this neighborhood. And I felt the insinuation was that maybe I was a prostitute or something like that. I was a prostitute or dealing drugs or looking for drugs. I was up to no good, though I'd gotten beaten up by girls and had blood running down my face. That is the 3rd Precinct, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and this is nothing really. Also about the 3rd Precinct, I wasn't happy with the impersonal paperwork of filling out car accident report information. It seemed as if no one really cared what was going on. How much longer do you want me to read? Okay. I just have a couple more things, and then I'm going to continue when we do our 2nd hour. I actually have a lot here. This is only the first of 3 journal entries. So, okay. The burning down of the station led to an incredible swath of destruction up and down Lake Street, from places east of Lake and Minnehaha to a little west of Lake and Hennepin, veering off for blocks to places where there was any kind of glass, a daycare, a pharmacy. My Walgreens store at Chicago and 43rd was broken into and looted. It still isn't open. The next day, Friday, May 29th, was when the governor said there were other forces, conservative racist groups coming to Minneapolis to participate in the mayhem. I don't think he named organizations. He did mention organized crime, which is probably why all the pharmacies were getting attacked. From his press conference and other posts, I began to see that Minnesota was considered a battleground. A curfew was announced, and Derek Chauvin had been charged with 3rd-degree murder and 2nd-degree manslaughter. He and all the other officers had been fired, but the other officers still had not been charged. His wife announced she was filing for divorce. Rumors abounded that she is related to the police officer in the video blocking the crowd from Derek Chauvin as he slowly kills George Floyd. I have not seen them substantiated. Apparently she is Asian, and the officer in the video looks Asian. The governor announced that the National Guard would be coming in. I think this was at a press conference I watched on my phone at 2 a.m. They said it would be at 1:30 a.m., but I know it started later. I don't know if Trump had weighed in on this yet, and I'm just going to stop there. That's sort of a that brings us up to May 29th, so there's still several days to go. You ready to come back? Okay. Venus is going to come back. If you missed Venus's explanation, Anthony's not going to be joining us tonight. He's going to take a night off. And wow, these pages work as a fan. I never get to introduce Venus very often, not for these things. May I bring to the stage the award-winning, gender-bending, argumentative yet an excellent cook, Venus de Mars.
Argumentative and excellent cook. So I apologize for that main camera being kind of, I think it's probably too far and these lights are too hot. Yeah, it's working. See my hands move? Oh no. Did it just stop? Okay, we're gonna have to go with just side ones, and I'll move the piano one. The piano front is kind of low. I'll move that one over so it's a little more centered. So sorry about that, people. Technology. I thought I had it all worked out. Just this, there's a hole in my flesh. Just this, just a hole. Just missed where my soul gets enmeshed. As if it were mine. Just this, there's a hole in my heart, and it bleeds all the time. We'll fix it with an old piece of twine, with stitches and wine. And when there's distance across a lifetime, all we know is all we've lost. Then through a hardness, this crime of living, where pain determines our cost. just this. There's a hole in my path, and I stumble all the time. I'll fix it from an old mound of dirt and careless design. Take my shoulder, I understand. I can hold you, I know you can. You're something bolder, there is no plan, and it's getting colder. My brother, see my sister, there are no others, there is no difference. I could be you, you could be me. We struggle onwards and desperately. There's too much fear, there's too much hardness, there's too much fear. It's never bothers. Stop your hate, stop your gun, stop your fighting. We are one. Hold me, sister, hold me. Hold me, brother, hold me. Hold me, father, hold me. Hold me, mother, hold me. Hold me, sister, hold me. Hold me, brother, hold me. Hold me, father, hold me. Hold me, mother, hold me. Hold me, sister, hold me. Hold me, brother, hold me. Hold me, father, hold me. Hold me, mother, hold me. Hold me, sister, hold me. Hold me, brother, hold me. Hold me, father, hold me. Hold me, mother. Carry me. I'll carry you. We could be stronger. We could be true. Make me wise. Make me breathe. Make me feel you. Make me grieve. do our second set on my Patreon page. That's on the information on the YouTube. So if you're one of my Patreons, you can go over there and we'll just keep going for another hour. And if you're not a Patreon, you can, if you want to donate, don't donate to me. Donate to the link I have there for rebuilding our neighborhood, since it's pretty destroyed. But we want to keep it the way, the diversity and the amazing vitality that it was. And we'd like to somehow bring that back and have those people come back. Six o'clock, and I think I'm breathing. 6 o'clock, and I think I'm reeling. 6 o'clock, and I'm rushing in. 6 o'clock, and I'm paper thin, and I follow. Follow. Time is standing, and my face is freezing. Time is standing, and the choice is teasing. Time is standing with wings of its own. Time is standing apart and alone, and I follow. 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 Life is poison, desire, and diseases. Life destroyer requires what it pleases. Life is blind, and the rage that it feeds twice as cold as the blood that it bleeds. But I follow. 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 I think that's going to be the end for this 6th live stream. And we'll do this again in 2 weeks, no matter what happens. It could be a different world. It could be amazing. So let's stay together. Let's take care of each other. Let's watch out for each other. And this is Pride Month. And we've got a bunch of assholes that moved in here for the riots, and they're looking for targets. So all of you wearing rainbows or trans flags or anything, be careful. But don't hide. And I love everybody. So thank you for being here.